Hello, everyone. We will be starting this program in about 20 minutes. So if you are watching this later, you may want to fast forward about 20 minutes to skip the people coming into the meeting and things like that. So just wanted to put that out there. Thanks.
Unmute, start video. Oh, I did it.
Hi.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I am recording. So I did just say to them that we're starting in 20 minutes. So if we have a YouTube channel now,
Well, you do.
we just started one. We don't have anything on it. Yeah.
Well, let's be the first.
Yeah. But if you're good with it, I'm thinking of putting this program on there and then linking it from our website. And if you want the link, if that's okay, would that be all right?
Sure. Can we just test something here? Because I've got it set up where I think we'll be able to see everything in a way that, okay. So if I turn the computer, and now I'm going to go walk to the other side here. Okay, so this milk jug is probably in the wrong spot, but I kind of want it here. All right, so this is good for me to be talking about the cheese because this is where we're making it.
Yeah, I'm going to turn up my volume.
Okay, and then
Yeah, that's good.
that's going to be the beginning and the end portion, but then I'm going to tip it down a little. So I've got the photos here.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Be a little, oops, a little bit closer, or can you not see that? Is that too much of an angle?
Yeah, that's better right there.
Okay.
It's just, it was getting too close to the camera, I think.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right, so we're gonna have to tip it down. So there's gonna be a little finagling just
Sure.
to get that right.
Yeah.
And a number of slides, and I'll just talk about it. I've got my kid here. He's gonna stir for us.
Okay.
Oh, he won't want to be in the picture at all.
I have someone in the waiting room, so I'm going to let them in.
Oh, cool.
I think I'm going to see if there's a way to.
It's my sister.
Oh, nice. There should be a way to, I think if there's, I'm going to try to pin you or make you, I think when she connects, we might be able to make you the spotlight, you know,
Okay.
so then once she gets her camera going, and there might be an option to, oh, why can't I do that for you? Where's your options? Yeah. On my screen, you're the main person.
Okay.
But I don't know if that's the way for everyone.
Well, the settings that I know of, when somebody speaks, it usually goes to their picture. So even if I'm not in their lineup, I should be the one, as long as everybody's muted.
Okay. Yeah, and we'll mention that maybe at the beginning. I think there's also an option if at least 3 people have their cameras on, I can spotlight you, but I don't know if we want to encourage them to have their cameras on because that might be distracting. So hopefully it'll just go to you automatically. And then I think people can pin you or change their view so that it's different. So, oh, there we go.
Did she come in?
She's still connecting to something, so.
Oh, I see. I'm like full screen and it says the host has spotlighted you.
Yeah, so, you know, if that doesn't work, we can, you know, just.
Okay. Yeah, and then I see myself tiny on the top and then you tiny on the top too.
Okay. And if, if, I don't know, like if I don't think I can turn my camera off. Well, maybe I can, but I don't know.
Hey, Tammy, text me if you can hear me. I see you're on mute.
Okay, I can hear you.
Oh, hi, honey.
Hello. Hey, I have something. Watch. See if it works.
The
It's the only picture I had in my background or in my laptop. I'm going to have to download more.
hilarious.
I can send a couple there.
Oh my God.
So you can look at the cloth for now.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, does the video come through okay?
Very nicely, yes.
And I'm spotlighted?
Very
Like, am I
much.
the only one? Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Pam, did you have people sign up for this or you were just hoping?
We did have people sign up. I think there's 4 signed up, 5
Okay.
signed up, and then I did call all of them, and one person I talked to said they don't know how to use Zoom, so then that dropped it down to 4.
Okay.
So I sent out all of the links, and then one person registered again, so I thought, well, maybe they didn't get their link, so I did call her and left a message, so. But
Okay.
I thought even like if we have some or what, we could put it online and then more could watch it if that's okay with you. So,
It's totally fine.
Great.
Yeah, they were wondering if that could be done anyway, so.
yeah. And yeah, so we'll have that on our YouTube channel, and there I'm thinking I can share that with you somehow, possibly if you want the video
Okay.
too.
Well, we'd probably just share it on our YouTube,
Okay.
unless that's
Yeah, so,
okay.
Is your email a Gmail? I don't remember.
Waupun Historical Society is, yeah.
Okay,
at
because
Gmail.
then I can share that with you, and then that's an easy way to share a video. Otherwise, like I can't email them, they're too large to email, but sharing them via Gmail, you're kind of sharing up on my drive or whatever that is.
Okay. Yep,
You
that's
can
fine.
access it, and I think you can do what you want with it. I'll give you the, rights to do whatever you want with it, if you want to save it or download it or whatever, so.
Okay, sounds good. Well, hi, Carol. She took her video off. There
Oh,
goes.
she must be connected via
Her
phone.
phone.
Yeah.
I saw her little face pop up there before.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. Somebody needs to turn their cell phone off. That'd be me. Go ahead.
See you, Carol.
All right, do not disturb is on. You have to type your question, Tammy. Carol, can you hear us? She was just putting her hand to her ear.
Do you have your volume up, Carol, on your device?
Auntie Tammy's on. You want to say hi?
Is it my Gavin? Hi, honey cakes.
Hello.
You see her picture? She put Uncle Dennis in with the claw. It's hilarious.
Can you hear us now, Carol?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
You
we're
stood
good.
it for me.
I have a
Yep.
canary. If he gets too loud, tell me and I'll cover him up.
We might mute everyone except for
Okay.
Tracie at the beginning, or, you know, and then
Mhm.
if there's questions, we can probably unmute at that time, or you can send a question via the chat as well.
Okay.
So whatever you're comfortable with, so.
Okay, turn off. I left it in the back row. Nope, it's right here. Oh yeah, that's gonna be one
I'm gonna put the other one.
of. Mhm.
Do you have one about flags ever?
Actually, put that back in for that minute that we discussed before. Okay. What about the flags, Tammy?
Oh, I was just wondering if you've ever had one with flags, or like history or fun with flags, or,
No, fun with flags. I've got a flag right here.
okay. That's really nice in there.
It is. We just had the senior center in today.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, there was, I think, 15 of them that came through.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, so we had a good time. I think they were here about an hour and a half. It was really great.
That is nice.
Well, I could walk you guys around. I mean, we don't have to just sit here and stare at each other, right?
Well, I'm just trying to find a pillow. I'm good.
Very nice. Oh, nice hearth.
Very nice.
Our
You guys
school.
did an awesome job.
Yeah. So this is the school's exhibit. I don't want to go too far over there because I think I might lose the Wi-Fi signal and that would be bad.
Oh my gosh. Oh, look at that. I love that. The vest and you know what reminds me of, and maybe this is the same thing. Remember going to Shakey's when we were little and the guy that would play the piano?
No, I don't remember.
That's
I
what it
do.
reminds me. I like the mask.
Yeah, that was Steve.
Beautiful doors.
You need to come here, Tammy.
I do. How about on the second?
The second sounds great.
The first two.
Okay, so this is our sculpture area. No. Yep.
Very nice. Oh, okay. Pan in on the one on the right. It looks like a mermaid or something. Is that what it is? Or is our, okay, and down a little. The sculpture on the bottom,
Oh,
that thing.
that's called the flower holder. It's one of Shaler's smaller sculptures,
That's beautiful.
but he's pretty much made all of them.
So all those photos that are up, those are all photos of his sculptures?
Yeah, most of them are in town or in the area. Some of them are
Okay.
not. Some of them are in California.
Wow.
And then we have a new artist spotlight for the spring and summer. It's Winifred
Nice.
Winifred or Winnie Cooper. So this is our artist spotlight area.
Okay, so besides the sculpture, or the sculptor, do you have local artists in there?
Yeah, that's what I'm showing you right now, silly goose.
Oh, that's really impressive.
This is the ones we just took down. I don't know if you'll be able to see, it's dark in here. But this is our office. Ooh, there we go. A whole bunch. These are cacatels.
Those are nice.
It was like a ground floor tour. That's about all I got. Can't go much further or I'm gonna lose that signal.
Hi, Gavin.
Oh,
Are you gonna help your mom with the cheese?
I am.
Okay, I may have a question later.
Okay.
It'll be for you.
I know what it is. What do we got?
67.
All right. Let's do it. Thank you. Carol, do you have any questions about the Historical Society before we start?
No, I've been in there. I'm actually a lifetime member, but I haven't been in there probably in over a year. So I need to come back in. Yeah,
You do.
I do.
We've
I see they
updated
have, I see they have items from Mallory Pharmacy. I used to work there.
down the basement. We do, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I saw that somewhere, maybe on Facebook, but yeah, so I have to
It
get
could
over
be.
there and see it.
Yeah, down in our, as soon as you come down the stairs, it's right down
Mhm.
there.
Yeah. Good. Do you have monthly meetings?
We have split into two committees where we have an external and an internal committee. And if something comes up that the committee chairs can't handle, then we do have more meetings. We skipped this last month, but I do believe we're going to have one in May. And we've changed it to the first Tuesday of the month.
First Tuesday. Are those Zoom or can you attend and set in person yet? Probably Zoom.
It depends on where we are and how many people we anticipate having come. We
Okay.
have done Zoom meetings in the past. We've met out at Marsh Haven in the past.
Mhm.
We've met here at the Carnegie in the past. It just depends on how many people we're gonna have.
Mhm. I didn't know if it was open to the public or.
It is absolutely open to the public. Please
Oh,
join.
okay. Yeah. No, I joined when we first came to town in '78. How many are attending tonight?
We did have 4 total sign up. But there's a couple names that, well, Tracie's sister is here, so that, I think that's an additional one. And then there's 2 friends that I'm not seeing that were on the list, but welcome. That's great. So
Good.
are like 3 more than I'm expecting, but yeah, not as many as I thought might, but I know Zoom is a little different for people, so.
Mhm.
Oh, then, okay. Good.
Hi, Kelly.
Hey, Tracy.
How are you?
Good. How are
much
you?
fun is this? Good.
I know.
My sister Tammy's here too.
Hi, Tammy.
Hello, Kelly. Hello, Carol.
Hello.
Hello, Pam, even though we've been talking. I'm waving and I know nobody can see me. Oh my gosh, but I'm waving.
I love your little crock pot, the little design on there.
Oh, thank you.
Vintage.
It is, yes. One thing in our home is always vintage stuff.
It is 6:30, so I don't know if you wanted to start in a little bit or wait a little bit, or what do you think, Tracy?
Whatever you want. I'm game to start right now.
Okay, we can, and if others come in, I'll admit them in here and kind of keep an eye on that. But I just wanted to say thanks for everyone that's attended here, and we will probably mute everyone except for Tracy just to keep the feedback or the background noise down. We'll probably have a time for questions, or it's up to Tracy how she wants to run it. If she wants to ask questions or offer for questions in the middle of it, then you can unmute and or type in the chat. So whichever you're more comfortable with. I may, I don't know if it's going to be distracting for you, Tracy. If I would make you co-host, then you could see, well, you might see all the chats anyway. So, but we'll just see how things go, and you can go ahead and get started. Thanks so much.
Okay, well, thank you. I am Tracy Nichols. I am the secretary here at the Waupun Historical Society. I am in my third term. I have gotten involved with the Historical Society right after I got married 7 years ago, and I was Steve's proxy. He wanted to join the Historical Society, and sometimes he couldn't make the meetings. So I started sitting in on the meetings, and pretty soon I got sucked in, and there's just so much that this town has to offer that, you know, I quickly became a volunteer, and I have been pushing forward ever since. I do chair the external committee as well, where we do fundraising activities. So we're always looking for volunteers to do that. So if you want a fun way to spend your summer or winter, throwing a party, making some money for the Historical Society, or if you maybe do data entry and you want to help volunteer, we can help anybody that wants to come and spend some time with us. So we are open on Wednesdays from 3:30 to 7 o'clock, and on Sundays from noon to 4, and those are all the time. There are days where you're going to drive past and see the open sign, so please, somebody's here doing research or whatever, come on in and sit down.
I have food in the microwave. They can't hear us.
They can. Okay, so today we are doing farming in Wisconsin, and we're doing a little bit of cheese making. So what we have, I've gathered some of the ingredients. There is some white vinegar. You could use rice vinegar, you could use apple cider vinegar, you can use lemon juice. I just picked kind of the easiest recipe to go with. And because I have this crock pot that doesn't heat quite well, we put some of the milk, we have to use whole milk. We put some of the milk in the microwave to get it warm enough. So by the time we're done with the presentation and I add the acid to it, then it's gonna form pretty well for us. Ooh. All right, so I do have a half a gallon here. I have a strainer that we're going to use later, and I have some cheesecloth. So we're going to need that too. And if anybody's close enough and they want to try to sample some of the cheese, I'm going to put a plate together at the end, and you guys can stop over anytime between then when we're finished in like 7:30. All right. Well, we're going to get into the farming portion. All right, Pam, you just let me know when this works here. Is that pretty good?
Yep, that looks good.
All right. So our topic today is farming in Wisconsin. We'll be exploring the history of farming in the area now known as Wisconsin. At its height, the Wisconsin Territory was once second in wheat production and the first to have a cheese factory. Although the right to claim the first cheese factory in Wisconsin was hotly contested, bragging rights eventually went to a farm just outside of Waupun, Chester Hazen's Dairy, which was located in Ladoga, near the northeast corner of TC and 26. Okay, this photo here is about the glaciers and how they came down. Let's take a closer look at what made farming in Wisconsin sustainable. To do this, we'll need to go all the way back to the beginning when glaciers covered our entire state. The very nature of glaciers is that they are slow-moving ice that scraped and agitated the ground as it flowed southward, churning up the land and carrying it along. When the ice age ended and the glacier retreated, what was left behind was the mineral-rich soil, crucial to successful farming. A mere 15,000 years ago, during the Ice Age, most of northern America lay under the grip of colossal ice sheets. The effects of advancing and retreating glaciers can be seen in the headlands of Cape Cod, the Finger Lakes of New York, and the hills of Michigan. But nowhere is the glacier's mark upon the land more impressive than in Wisconsin. Indeed, the state has lent its name to the most recent series of glacial advances and retreats. The Wisconsin glaciation lasted from about 100,000 years ago to only 10,000 years ago. And here we have a photo of Wisconsin with the Green Bay lobe coming down. Many times during the last 2 million years, the climate fluctuated between warmer and cooler temperatures. During the colder fluctuations, glaciers formed and spread outward from Arctic areas, engulfing most of northern and North America. Each of the major glaciations has been followed by a warmer interglacial period, probably similar to that of today, during which the glaciers melted away. The glacier most recently flowed into Wisconsin about 25,000 years ago and reached its greatest extent, covering approximately 2/3 of the state, about 16,000 years ago before melting back. The flowing meltwater spread fine layers of sand in broad plains such as those in Land Lake, Rock, and Portage counties that today are fertile cash crop farming areas. In several of the areas, the meltwater pooled, forming large lakes where silt and clay collected. The flat bed of glacial Lake Wisconsin in the Fox River Valley, Lake Winnebago, and the Horicon Marsh are all small remnants of another pro-glacial lake in Lake Oshkosh. The first farmers on the land we now call Wisconsin were Native Americans, members of the Ho-Chunk Nation, the Oneida, the Potawatomi, and the Menominee. You might be wondering why I did not mention the Winnebago. Winnebago was initially a derogatory term for people of the Ho-Chunk Nation who lived near or on Lake Winnebago. No longer considered inappropriate, the Winnebago and Ho-Chunk refer to the same nation. For thousands of years, these peaceful people lived, worked, and farmed the land around us. They chose this land because of the rich soil that produced bountiful crops of squash, corn, beans, and tobacco. We have a very large collection of Native American artifacts here at the museum. I want to point to one of them here. Let me see if I can get up on this particular bowl right here, this bull was found in Waupun, right on the Rock River in 1860. As the demand for land grew, white settlers were heading west by the tens of thousands, looking for fertile land to farm. These settlers were mostly immigrants from Germany, Sweden, Denmark, and the Netherlands. Finding the land already occupied, the federal government took action to reappropriate the land. In a time period known as the removal period, the Native Americans were forced onto reservations by gunpoint, through violent acts of war, and by starvation brought on by the systematic burning of their crops. In 1836, the federal government recognized Wisconsin as a territory, and Andrew Jackson appointed our first governor, Henry Dodge. Over the next decade, the land was divided, surveyed, and placed for sale to white settlers, immigrants, and developers. As our population grew rapidly, so did the farms. Does anybody want to guess what our first major crop was? Anybody? Wheat. The first major crop was wheat from approximately 1840 to 1880. The heavy influence of the European settlers, they brought with them a love of baking and a knowledge of wheat farming. Wheat was easy to plant, profitable, and with the soil so rich in minerals, 2 crops could be grown per year. A hardworking farmer could harvest 100 bushels in as few as 250 to 300 hours. A farmer would need approximately 5 acres of wheat to harvest those 100 bushels. Harvesting was done by hand, either with a long scythe or with a smaller sickle. The sickle only took 1 hand to operate. If the farmers were lucky, they would have a horse pulling a walking plow. With the wheat harvested, a mill was soon needed to grind the wheat into flour. Mill ponds are as plentiful as farms in Wisconsin, and one only has to observe from the air to see how many of those mill ponds still exist. And we have one right here in the center of town. Nearing 1880, the constant replanting of wheat crops had depleted the soil so much that crops were less and less profitable. Insect infestations had wiped out what was left. Farmers were struggling and in need of a new way to earn a living. Most homesteads already owned cows. Their milk was used for household necessities like butter and cream. At this time, women were the primary caretakers of the livestock, and it was considered a woman's work to milk the cows, churn the butter, and make the cream. With the lack of refrigeration, this was a never-ending responsibility. With a much longer shelf life, cheese became the preferred way to store and consume dairy. Now remember, most of our first settlers were of Eastern European descent. In addition to a love of bread making and baking, they brought with them the knowledge of how to make excellent cheese. Now here is a photo of Chester Hazen. Chester Hazen is known for operating Wisconsin's first cheese factory. He was born in 1824 in Denmark, New York. He moved to Wisconsin in 1844 and he settled on a farm in Ladoga. In 1864, Hazen started his dairy. Oh, actually, Hazen's ancestors go all the way back to the Mayflower. They've been here a really long time. Now, here's a map of how the counties are set up. This line up the center, this is Highway 26. And this is Highway TC right here at the bottom. So we're in Ladoga right here. This plot of land was Chester Hazen's plot where he had the dairy farm. So it's just north and east of Highway 26. This is his father and brother's farm here too, where he raised cattle. Hazen helped found the Fond du Lac Dairymen's Association and the Wisconsin Dairymen's Association. He served in the Wisconsin State Assembly from 1885 to 1895. And in 1895, he moved to Ripon and was elected the mayor. He passed away in April of 1900. Hazen had this idea to make cheese in bulk. And to do that, he would have to use the milk from as many cows as possible. He then gathered the milk from separate herds. The estimate was more than 300 animals. And he combined the milk and started the cheese making process. This photo is from a newspaper article about, it was called Hazen's Folly. His neighbors were highly skeptical that this could work. They gave his farm a derogatory nickname of Hazen's Folly. Everyone thought that mixing the milk from all of those herds would lead to a catastrophic failure and horrible tasting cheese. Not to mention that himself, a man, was breaking the working class stereotype and milking the cows to make the cheese. Chester proved them all wrong, and his dairy was so successful that he was the first dairy farmer to produce cheese at such a rate that he sold it by the boxcar around the country. His cheese traveled to his home state of New York and became the first Wisconsin-made cheese purchased outside of the state of Wisconsin. There is a small stone plaque out there where his farm used to be. And it's erected in honor of Chester Hazen, the father of Wisconsin's cheese industry. Okay. So now we're gonna go back to finishing the cheese here. All I'm going to need to do is make sure that it's at the right temperature, and it's supposed to be just below a boil. And I'm going to add the acid, give it a stir. I might need more of that. Now, sometimes this takes 5 minutes or so, so we can take some questions if you have any. Yeah, could you please get me my glasses so if somebody types a question, I can read it. I think it's underneath. The paper's right there. Yay, thank you. I can't see without my glasses, but I can't read with them on, so. So now the milk is starting to curdle already. You can see it on the spoon here. If you have a slotted spoon or a spaghetti spoon, that would work too. But it's really starting to curdle. So I'm going to flavor my cheese. I'm going to put some rosemary in it.
There's a question, what do you mean by acid?
The acid is either going to be a vinegar, a white vinegar, apple cider vinegar will work, rice wine vinegar will work, and lemon juice will also work. I was using white vinegar. So I think I'm going to put a little bit more in there. You can flavor your cheese with anything. One of the pre-rounds that I did, I chopped up some mushrooms and some chives. Another one I did that just had some red pepper flakes.
There's someone with their hand up. If they want to speak, they can, or type in the chat, whichever.
Yeah, I couldn't find the chat. Tracy, why did you put the rosemary in earlier? Is it a quick rosemary kind of a thing, or?
No, it's fresh rosemary.
Yeah,
And I put it in because it's hot, and that's going to break down the oils in the rosemary and infuse it into the cheese.
Oh, perfect. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. I think that's good enough to start pouring it in here. I have double checked the capacity and it'll fit. You want me to turn just a little bit so you can kind of see how it's curdling? Okay. And then you're going to pick up your cheesecloth, and I mean, it's pretty hot. So you squeeze it all out. This might take a little bit. I'm gonna move it over here. Okay, now I did go ahead last week and go on Amazon, and I found this cheese making kit. And it had the cheesecloth in it. It had something called rennet, and this is a bacteria. So if you want to make a harder cheese like mozzarella, you can do that. This is just the bacteria that goes into it. It's sort of like yogurt with the live cultures. This is citric acid, and it's the same thing as the cider, apple cider vinegar, or lemon juice. You just put that in the beginning, follow the directions, and you'll have a really good tasting cheese. Now, before this gets too out, I'm going to put some salt in there and then give it a couple of squeezes. Do you want to go get my plate? So the more water that you leave in here, the softer your cheese is going to be. This will be like a nice spread for crackers. Put it down here. Okay, yeah, maybe you should tilt it down just a little bit. Okay, so here we have the nice spread with all the crackers on it. And I'm just gonna roll this right out of here. And it's all set. Are there any questions now? Everyone lift it up a little bit. Something happened.
You okay?
I can hear you still, but
We can see you.
You can. Okay, I just can't see you anymore. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what happened then.
We can still see you.
I've got a screen that says, take a health and wellness break on Zoom.
Oh, goodness. Is that just table salt that you use? Someone had a question?
Yeah, this was Himalayan salt that came inside this cheese package, but you could use table salt. I used table salt for my mozzarella, and I used table salt for the one with the mushrooms.
And then someone asked, does it have to be a spread or can you cut it?
The mozzarella you can cut. There was just too many steps to do it conveniently for this program. Mozzarella, you follow the basic steps that we just did, only you have to put it back in a hot water bath or into the microwave and then do some pulling with it. And it gets it really hard and shiny. Did that answer the question? I hope.
I believe so. Thumbs up, they got.
Okay.
Anyone else have any other questions? You can type in the chat or unmute about the cheese or the program or the Historical Society. I'm not seeing any other ones come through, Tracy, but thanks so much for the information, the presentation, and the cheese presentation. That was great.
All right, well, thanks for having us. Look forward to doing it again real soon.
Yeah, we can either see what we can do with Zoom, maybe the next one, hopefully it might be in person. So just keep an eye out and see what we have coming up. And we'll be in touch for that, for sure.
Okay. Well, thanks, Pam. Thanks, everybody, for joining, and I hope it was good fun for you.
Yeah, and Tracy, did you say that you'll be there until about 7:30 if someone wanted to come down and?
If somebody wanted to come down, you can sample my cheese.
Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you, Pam. Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody.